Is your old beach chair a little too big? Well, we are creating the ClapClap Chair. A chair that you conveniently can clap together and bring it on your adventures. Just pick it up over your shoulder or bring it on your backpack. Let's start. To prepare the wood, we bring it to the table saw to remove the bark. We make further cuts to get manageable planks. For the next steps, we use the planer to get a 90-degree angles before we use the thickness planer to get our straight planks. We sort the planks and number them to make it easy to select matching wood before assembly. The frames are made up by 2 length pieces and 2 width pieces each. We start by making the length pieces for the outer frame. With the prepared planks, we pick matching pieces. We use a measuring tape and a pen to mark the cuts. We use a tool to get a nice straight perpendicular line. The frames has a total of 8 points of attachments that will be made the same way. We tried 1 screw connections and manual marking, but it was unstable and slow. Therefore, we built a shablon to precisely pre-drill holes for our screws. The shablon works by aligning it to the corner of each wood piece. Then, we simply mark the holes with a nail and use the drill press whenever we need it for a consistent result. We also use the shablon as a guide to pre-drill holes on the width pieces. This makes it align perfectly when screwing the length and width piece together. We use a countersink to make a snug fit for the holes. And voila, we can now easily assemble the frame. For the inner frame, we measure and cut the inner length pieces with a centimeters of spare room to allow for rotation. For the width pieces, we also measure and make sure we remove the width of our spacers to allow for rotation before cutting. We check that the width pieces fit. Then, before we assemble the inner frame, we make the leg support cuts. To make the leg support cuts, we built a shablon. We use it to mark the wood where the leg can rest safely. We use a drill for the first part of the cut, then for the rest of the cut, we can either use a bandsaw or a saw made for transverse cuts. At last, we sand down the support angles to get a smooth surface. Next, we will prepare the frame for attachments. To precisely connect the outer frame, inner frame and the legs, we need ways to accurately align the parts. Starting with the joints, they consist of a bolt and motor connecting the frame through a hole with spaces in between. These joints have to be able to rotate smoothly and at the same time be able to hold a lot of force from the pressure of sitting in the chair while also being stable. In addition, it should not be wobbly. To meet these 3 requirements, we align the frames by clamping the inner and outer frame together and we mark the positions on the joint holes on both sides. We mark the holes at 1/3 of the total length of the frame. We use this as a convenient ratio. We are using a drill press to get straight holes. We align the drill and do the necessary adjustments to make sure that the drill will drill the whole thickness of the frame and not drill through the metal support plates. Before assembly, we repeat similar steps to create the legs. We measure, saw and drill. Finally, assemble time. Okay, perhaps we need some textile too. We use weights to help the textile stay in place. We measure, mark and cut the fabric to length. The fabric is approximately 10 cm longer than the length of the chair. To make the fabric robust, we start by folding the fabric, iron it and fold it again. Then we make a straight seam around the whole textile. To attach the fabric to the chair, we sew a hole for a rod that's gonna hold the textile in place. Then we're threading the textile in between the 2 narrow pieces of wood and we insert the rod. And we have our working chair. But hold on, we're making it double fold. We got ourselves some metal pieces for the connections. We cut them to length. We make use of a combination of saws, chisels and sandpaper to make a snug fit for the metal connections. And there we have it, a working connection. Well, almost. We will use these clips to secure the metal to the wood. We drill a hole for the clips to go through. Then all we have to do is inserting a screw to keep the metal connection permanent on the other side. Assemble! And there we have it, the final ClapClap chair that you easily can bring through doors, over your shoulder or on your backpack.